Welcome back to Project KALM. My name is James. I'm your host. And as usual, we have a super amazing guest on the show. Claire, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
That's great to hear. You were just telling me about how you were spending the 4th of July. So how was your 4th?
It was good.
Yeah,
What are you supposed to say? It's always okay. Holidays are fun, right?
yeah. Do you get to see fireworks from where you are? Like, does your city or like do you have like a park nearby that has a lot of fireworks?
Yeah, they have fireworks at a couple places, I think.
Mhm.
It's more fun for me to just kind of like go to a park and kind of meditate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, meditate while all the explosions are happening, right, around you.
Yeah, right.
Well, for the audience who doesn't know, can you give us a bit of a background on who you are, what you do, and also what you used to do? Because you have a really cool backstory.
Oh, thank you. Uh I've been in I've been an athlete for a really long time, and I'm in my 70s, and so basically I've had to try to stay ahead of the head of the rolling ball of life. And I was a ski medic for a number of years, probably 37 years. And I've since then been more involved in medicine. And so that's kind of where I am now. And I teach meditation. So I'm trying to keep it really basic.
How did you end up becoming a ski medic? And you were probably one of the first woman ski medics, right?
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. And I used to race. And so I had control over myself and my skis, and I could do what I was asked to do, and with grace, and I'm very grateful for that. So um and I enjoyed working with mostly men. They were all my brothers, and it was it was a really great lifestyle.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite mountain?
A favorite mountain. God, if I had a favorite mountain, I think every mountain, every ski hill has its own
Mhm.
beauty to it. And more than anything, since I'm now living near the water, I just really love looking at mountains from a distance. And yeah, I probably don't have a favorite mountain.
You love all of them equally?
Yeah, love them equally.
Have you been to
Yes.
the one up in Canada? It's like a 2 hour drive from Vancouver. What
Yeah.
what was it called?
Whistler.
Whistler. Yes, I just went
Right.
there last year and so I've been snowboarding in California, like Southern California, and there's
Right.
no real snow here. So you're just like it's like ice boarding.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, I went to like an actual resort with real snow, and that was Whistler, and I was just completely blown away. I'm like, is this what snow is supposed to feel like? Like I've been lied for the past 26 years of my life because
Yeah.
I was like, and I actually broke a collarbone at snowboarding in Southern California because it just hurts. You're like falling on cement every time you fall, and it's not fun.
Right. That's the most common injury with snowboarding: back of the head and collarbone. Yeah.
Yeah. And then right now you're practicing, you're teaching meditation. So how did you go from being a ski medic to a meditation teacher?
It's fairly intuitive because as athletes, most of us have ADD, and ADD is the type of brain where you use your whole brain. That's why you're slow to respond, because a thought bounces around in many different places. So it can be viewed as whole brain thinking. And the best kind of meditation for people in the West, meaning most of us in the Western part of the hemisphere, we do well with movement meditation. So going from teaching sports to meditation for the Western mind was pretty easy because it involves movement, sometimes breath. whatever the client really needs. It depends on what they need, but it does involve movement, and I think that is why it's different than just sitting and like contemplating, contemplating nothing. You can be moving.
That's super cool. I'm pretty sure I've never been officially diagnosed, but I do have like kind of like an ADD, ADHD brain. Like it's my thoughts are always bouncing around. And I've never heard of movement meditation because when I meditate, I just do the 10 minutes of just like silence. So if I wanted
Yeah.
to get into movement meditations, what's kind of like an actionable step for me to try?
Focus on your breath.
Mhm.
Just focus on your breath, and if you have thoughts, let them come and go. And you may want to just do something really basic like walking, just walking slowly somewhere. And as long as your mind thinks it's busy doing something like walking, then it can let go. And that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for it to let go of the chatter.
So it's like doing like the usual meditation of focusing on the breath, but then you're adding in like a very simple movement that you can have in the back of your head, like doing like a walk in the park, something like that.
Yeah, and that's why people use japa. They're the beads where you repeat affirmations.
Yeah,
Um, it just gives your body something to think it's doing, so you can actually go deeper.
got it. Well, I want to switch gears into mental health really quick. Claire, where does your mental health journey start?
I think I thought about this since we talked before, and I think everybody has to go through something that brings them to their knees, um, to basically find themselves and start their whatever they want to call it, mental health or spiritual journey in life. And I had an event happen to me in losing my mother unexpectedly, and then my father in a way that was um, really deeply hard for me. And it took me some time to come out of that. And that's how my journey began. I was up in the mountains in the Himalayas, and we were looking for a master named Babaji, and I thought I was going to die one night because I was up there by myself. Everyone else had they they were ahead, or they're ahead of me in the path. And um, the night that I thought I'd die, every time I closed my eyes, there'd be someone sitting in front of me, and I'd open my eyes, and that person would be gone. And that went on all night. Every time I closed my eyes and drifted off, there was this being sitting in front of me. And he looked like a young man. And when I got back to America, I opened up Autobiography of a Yogi, and that was Babaji. And so I felt protected through that night, and also felt like it was somewhat of an initiation into sort of beginning a new perspective in my life, a new way of living.
That's I'm getting like goosebumps hearing this story. So I want to just get a bit of clarification. So I'm super sorry about the passing of both of your parents. Did you go to the Himalayas? Did this happen while you were in your journey in the Himalayas, or did you go to the Himalayas because of that to find healing?
Yeah, it's actually I went there because things had hit such a wall that I couldn't get through here. Um, I I left and I went to the mountains, and that's where I sort of restarted my life.
Yeah,
And everyone needs a restart. When we restart, sometimes it's hard,
yeah,
but we come back with treasures, with gifts, and using those gifts in our life is probably what makes us bigger, better people.
yeah. And then were you a meditation teacher during all of this, or is this how you started in becoming a meditation teacher?
I did a form of breath work called rebirthing, And so I was traveling with the man that started that movement. And it was a specific type of breathing, but I still do breath work, some more of my own and some of what he taught.
Mm-hmm.
But you sort of develop your own techniques, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think meditation is definitely one of the biggest needle movers for mental health or just I think finding peace in your life. And I'm a personal believer that there's never usually like our mental health is complex. There isn't like a one trick pony, whether that's a med, whether that's a supplement, or whether that's like a single action that can bring things from one side to another. But it's usually a combination of things like movements, um, like getting proper sleep, meditation, and things like that. And meditation has personally been a big needle mover for me. And it's one of those things I'm so glad that I stuck with it because for like the first year and a half, I honestly didn't think it was doing anything. But when I was like every day, like the inside me will go like, you're about to waste 10 minutes of your life. Like, why are you even doing this? You've been doing this for months. You still don't feel anything. But then I always like reminded myself, there's like literally billions with a B of people doing this. There has to be a reason why people are doing it. If it's not working for me, it's because I'm the mistake. It's not the practice itself. So then I would try different apps, listen to like different tips and things like that. And one day it just kind of clicked. And once it clicked from there, it clicked every single time. And it's not, I
Did
don't, oh, go ahead.
were you, did you do something different that made
I,
it click?
I, th I don't, because I made a bunch of smaller changes throughout the practice. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that like I did a single thing that was different. But in the beginning, I used to imagine like a light that was going through my body, and then I'll try to do like a body scan, and that was one of the things I did. But I think my mind just constantly got so distracted, and just for the first like several months, it was just figuring out how to let go of thoughts. And then once I got that dialed down, it's how to it's really focusing on the breathing side of things and so I guess it was more like throughout the first several months, I was just slowly improving my practice. And then
Hmm.
I'm sure like it wasn't like the time was wasted, but it was just that I was just learning. And then one day all of my learnings just kind of clicked. And it wasn't like a single day when I'm like, oh, today the meditation worked, but then it will be like I'll be like a week. It was like the first week. I'm like I realized the past week like my meditation sessions are feel it feels like it's going super fast because before the 10 minutes felt like an hour like 2 hours just trying to sit still for 2 hours. But I'm like
Yeah.
wait a minute, I just got through the 10 minutes so quick because I will have like a timer with like this very soft bell that tells me when it's 10 minutes up. I'm like if that felt like it was 10-20 seconds. And then I noticed that that was happening for like for like a week, and then I can increase it to like 15 minutes and 20 minutes, and it just got easier and easier. And I noticed that throughout the day, I it's not like anxious or stressful things don't happen to me, but then I see things more from a distance. Like I see, like
Yeah.
I'm able to analyze the situation and go like, oh, that's just my anxiety talking to me. This isn't me. And then I'm able to, and when you can kind of
Right.
distance yourself from it, it just passes away. And then you can go back to what you were doing, right?
Right. It kind of gives you a little buffer zone. Yeah. It's a practice, you know, that's why they call it a practice. We have to practice.
Yeah, it's just like exercising. Like for the first 6 months, you might not see any changes in the body, but it doesn't mean it's not working, right? It's there's something happening inside.
Right. And sometimes having the right teachers, I'm working with a shaman, it's on my site with you, who's very helpful.
Yeah,
He probably knows more breath work than anyone I've ever met.
yeah,
And I respect him completely. And then I also am doing hypnosis. And hypnosis is really a good short form way of just, you know, dealing with your mind so that you don't have to deal with a lot of mental chatter. You can direct it and learn how to direct it.
I've always wanted to. Okay, so when it comes to like hypnosis, I only see like what I see on TV, and I always, and then since and what you see on movies. I think more on movies, not on TVs. And I know everything in movies is all exaggerated and all false, but then things like that fascinate me. So things like magic also fascinate me, but it's because like I'm like I don't believe it unless this happens to myself. So I've always
Right.
wanted to be hypnotized to see if they could like make me like dance like a chicken or something like that. But I know we're talking more on the therapeutic side of things, but just I'm like I wish I'm like come and try to hypnotize me. I feel like I can fight hypnosis, but I'm just real like that.
Well, it's with permission. You know, you do it because you're giving yourself permission to learn more about yourself. So, it wouldn't it wouldn't be someone who'd make you quack like a duck. It would be more like you're
Yeah.
looking for something, and you're a part of that process, and
Mhm.
it's not against your will. It's
Yeah.
with your permission.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's su- that- that's super good to know. Um, I What made you want to start Calm? Were you like experiencing any symptoms that you were looking hoping to tackle?
Yeah. Um, because of what I went through with my parents and a big loss of everything. Um, my life had to start over, and I was having a hard time sleeping because I had to. I was involved legally with a case that I knew the answers to. I had all the information I needed, and yet for some reason, um, a lot of it either couldn't be used or didn't work. And I'm not sure what I was up against, but I was up against something that was bigger than me. And for my own peace of mind, I had to let go, back away, and back away with nothing. And so when I restarted, I realized that the gift in that is that I could do anything I wanted with my life. And I worked really, really hard for a decade, just almost 3 jobs a day, like around the clock. And I wasn't sleeping. And every time I would try to sleep, I'd wake up in a cold sweat because I knew answers to this uh, thing that I was involved in that weren't being utilized. So I had to just overcome my mind and overcome feeling like it was going to wake me up every night with knowing the truth and knowing answers, but there wasn't anything I could do with it. So um, I've been trying a lot of different things to sleep. And the reason I found calm was that I liked the idea of the ingredients without the concept of there being any THC. THC takes you to another place and doesn't work for me.
Mhm.
So when I tried your product, I felt like my body kind of got notched down quite a bit. And that's what I needed to sleep. I still have to use other things to sleep sometimes. However, it really did help with that process of quieting my mind down. And it's not always easy. You have to come at it from a lot of different angles, you
Yeah.
know, um, not just meditation, not just movement, not just sleep's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
And so that's what helped me more than anything. And then I tried Calm for pain, your Calm that works for pain, and I have found some relief with that. And what it does is sort of notches things down enough so that the pain isn't so intense.
Yeah. It's that's exactly what I created Calm for. It's I mean, there's never going to be a magical pill we can take that's going to eliminate
Right.
all of our problems, but if we can at least just add a few points to get things at least a few steps away, closer to where we want to be, right? And then when you meditate, you get another few steps closer. And then when you get your sleep dial down, which is a whole bunch of other micro actions, you get another few steps closer. And I feel like that's what mental health journey usually is just kind of I like to simplify improving our mental health into two things. One is removing things that hurt your mental health, and two is adding things that help your mental health. And then
Right.
if you're just constantly doing these two things week by week and just making micro improvements, you're not going from 0 to 100 overnight, but maybe this week aim for going from 0 to 10, and the next week we'll aim for 10 to 20. And throughout the journey there's always going to be setbacks. There's never a smooth path towards your goal, but as long as regardless of what setbacks happen, you just get back on track and continuously make that improvement. One day when you look back, you're gonna go like, look how far I've come. And that's
You just spoke the third one, which is things take time.
yeah,
And you have to practice, you know.
yeah.
That's why we both know there's no magic pill.
Hmm.
And everything takes time and it takes exploration. However, that's why we're here. And we're here to be put up against things and have to find ways to make them better. And that's really the gift in life. So if something hard comes your way, it's opening you up for a gift, and
Hmm.
it's opening you up to a new process.
Hmm.
And you kind of have to welcome it.
Hmm. It's like in the moment, definitely it's difficult, but then like it's like how you frame it. Like, am I just going to let this beat me up, or am I going to make this into a learning lesson? Sometimes
Right.
I actually have it written on my whiteboard right there. It's I'm Christian, so I have God only gives you challenges you can overcome, and it's all about how you frame all the hardships that come to your life. Are you going to use this to make yourself stronger and grow more and be more resilient, or are you just going to let it beat you down? And the only one that can make that decision is yourself. And
Right.
it's also okay to take like a day off to kind of reset, to be able to take a step back from the situations, let the emotions subside. But you don't want bad things to affect you for forever, because that would just be a net negative. And
Well, it's frequency. You know, when things happen to us, we're invited to
mhm,
change our frequency, and it's all vibration and frequency. You know, if you're thinking about love and the
yeah.
people you love and the things you love, it brings a much deeper sense of goodness into your body. So why not just think about the things that make you feel good rather than things that don't? And it affects what you put out. So it is where our minds are focused that makes the biggest difference.
Hmm. Hmm. What?
And if yours is focused upon God, I that's the highest one right there. Just
Yeah.
focus upon it's all God. Yes. You got it.
Yeah. I don't like forcing religion on anyone, but definitely like Christianity is something that my whole family is very Christian, so I went to church since I was a little kid. But then, like when you're a little kid, you're just going to a place, so you don't really know the meaning behind things. And then, it's something that I really got restarted on, just my spiritual side of things, and my relationship with God is something that has been rekindled during my darkest times, and yeah, it definitely has helped me.
Yeah, that's the challenge. I think if
Hmm.
we look at ourselves as young or old souls, you know, old souls come back to do a lot. Young souls come here to wake up. And so all of us are on a journey of some sort, you know.
Hmm. We are. So if you had a chance to give a message to someone who may be a little bit behind you on their mental health journey, and they're kind of like, what do I do? Where do I begin? There's like a million people telling me to do a million different things. What's a single piece of advice that you can give to this person? Or you can imagine yourself talking to younger Claire in the past.
I'd say don't give up and don't be hard on yourself. The reason why people usually give up is that they become really hard on themselves.
Yeah,
And that's the integrating how you are asking yourself to treat others. You have to treat yourself with the same respect and love and compassion. And I think when we learn to do that, then it makes our journey a little bit easier.
that's beautiful. I love it. Well, Claire, I want to wrap this up with three speed round questions, just to kind of lighten up the mood and make, yeah, and end with a fun note. What is the first one is going to be, what is the craziest or most adventurous thing you have ever done in your life?
Wow. Um, I made myself go to Whistler. You spoke about Whistler earlier,
Yeah,
and ski all the couloirs, which is the little bit of snow that's in between cliffs.
yeah,
And I just thought, okay, you know, to heck with it. I'm gonna ski all the ones I can in a day, and I skied most of them, and I won't do it again.
yeah.
But I did that, and that was probably one of my biggest challenges.
So is that like when you're like skiing in a crack and there's like you're like in between like just two walls of ice and if
Well,
you
it's like rock, you're just skiing in a
rocks
little gully. Yeah.
and then one hiccup and you're just crashing into the rocks. That's
Well, you hope for no hiccups, and definitely you go slowly.
okay. Oh, well, that's definitely a very crazy story. That's crazier than anything I've done. Well, on to question number two. If you were in an alternative universe and you didn't start as a ski medic, what do you think you would have been doing?
Oh wow, that's as a ski medic, I would have become a doctor. I I
Yeah,
really respect uh, the medical field in all aspects. Traditional, untraditional, a lot of it, and I think it takes a deep understanding of humankind, and you can take it from the physical into many different dimensions of who we are. So I probably would have put more effort into that.
well, do you think you would have been in under like a specific specialty? Like, would you be on the eastern side, or maybe be a psychiatrist or a family doctor?
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I find people very interesting, and I find the fact that love is s- such a high vibration, and it's such a good place to go.
yeah,
It probably would have been research more on the psychological aspect and spiritual aspects of who we are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. Lastly, if you can, what's one thing you have left? What's the biggest thing you have on your like bucket list?
Bucket list.
Is something you want
Uh,
to do that you haven't done yet?
Cleaning up my space where I live, organizing it. It always seems like the things that are right in front of us are
Yeah,
the ones we do last.
yeah.
Simplicity. Simplicity. Yes.
I actually have a trick for that because I'm always like running around and just like constantly doing something that like I'm like, oh, what the heck happened to my room, right? So like one trick I do is every time I leave the room or every time I leave the place I am in, I don't clean up everything, but I clean up one thing. So one
Yeah.
piece of trash or put one pen away. And then as I just live my life, I'm just slowly cleaning things up. And then whenever things get dirty, it just slowly gets cleaned up again. So it's never like too bad or it's never like too good. Just somewhere in the middle where it's acceptable to public size.
That's a really good motive for life too. Just clean a little bit up all the time and you're okay. I like
Yeah.
that.
Well, Claire, I truly appreciate you for taking the time to
Thank you.
hop on. If you guys have any questions for Claire, leave a comment down below. I'll go ahead and bug her and try to get you guys an answer. But that's it. Thank you all for listening. Wish you all a healthy and happy day. Peace.